Welcome to the Whole Person Parenting Podcast. We're here to have honest conversations about how to follow Jesus and parent kids in a whole person way. For more content and encouragement as we support you on your journey, you can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. We're so glad you're here. Now let's jump in. All right. Hello. Welcome back to the Whole Person Parenting Podcast. My name is Presley, and I'm here with my mom, Val, if you would like to call her that, or Valerie,
whatever.
or Mom.
I'll answer to either.
Mom.
Yeah, Mom. It's fine. Mom's good. I answer to all manner of names.
All manner of names.
For some reason, it's complicated with my name, even though Val seems very easy.
Oh my gosh, the amount of times we've been to Chick-fil-A and they have called her like Val.
Yeah, the same
like,
thing.
What on earth?
Every
Whose
time
name is Val?
I know. Every time they're like, "Can I get a name for the order?" And I'm like, Val.
Val. And they're like, Val?
It's like
Sal?
they've never heard this before.
I know.
It's a mystery name. Yeah.
It's so funny.
I know.
I usually get Preston. I get
Oh.
Preston more than I get anything else.
Interesting.
More than Presley. I get Preston more than Presley.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm obviously a girl, and I've never seen a girl named Preston, but
This is
I
very
guess
confusing.
maybe they just
Yeah.
think
don't
I look
know.
like a Preston.
Maybe.
So,
Okay. Well, yeah, our Paisley sometimes. But yeah, to be clear, since this is kind of a newer podcast, Presley, Val, or Valerie, and this is the Whole Person Parenting Podcast, and we're glad you're here and joining us. This is episode 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're 4 deep.
4 deep.
Yeah, we're going.
We're going.
We're keeping
Chugging
on.
along.
Yeah.
Okay. Today we're talking about ghosts. Spooky.
It's spooky.
It's spooky. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Simon just,
Oh,
he's fine.
okay.
My cat just is wreaking havoc in my bedroom right now. But whatever. It's fine.
It's okay.
Anyways,
We
we're talking
digress.
about ghosts.
Yeah. We
In the
thought it would be
nursery.
fitting, even though we
Don't
do-
celebrate Halloween.
We don't celebrate Halloween.
But this is our Halloween episode.
Yeah. I mean, it just kind of worked out that way that we were going to be talking about this subject in October.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to talk about ghosts and angels
Ghosts and
today.
angels. Woohoo.
Yeah. We've been on the subject of sort of intergenerational things in parenting.
Yes.
This is, I mean, it's such a nuanced topic. There's so many like different
Layers of it.
Mhm.
So this
Yeah.
is just another layer.
This is another layer. But something I think is going to help and bring like more language and insight and hopefully just like practical application. So it's kind of like it's an abstract concept on one hand, but also I think is going to bring like, practical language to
Yes.
how we think about it. And also, I think experientially it's going to make a lot of sense for parents who I know have been in these moments and who, carry these ghosts and angel moments into their parenting. So, yeah.
So the idea of ghosts and angels comes originally from an article which was posted.
Well, it was published.
It was published.
Yeah, because there was no posting at the time.
Yes.
I mean, it was
so this was in the 80s?
70s,
70s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes from this article called Ghosts in the Nursery, which basically is centered around this study of a baby named Mary and a mother that they call Miss March in the study. And basically they had noticed that, well, actually, Miss March had originally wanted to sign Mary up for adoption. She was 5.5 months old whenever they had first met the pair, the mother and the daughter, and she had wanted to get rid of her baby. She had tried to commit suicide by trying to overdose on aspirin. And so they find this this mother-daughter pair, and they decide to try to help them by giving them counseling and trying to figure out what is such a big issue here. And kind of what they noticed was that the baby was very unlike normal babies, very sad, not a lot of joy, wouldn't really turn to the mother whenever it was having, or it was put in stressful or anxious situations. It would kind of just keep to itself. And you saw the same patterns reflected in the mother. The mother was obviously extremely depressed and didn't really know how to help her baby. And something that they mentioned over and over again in the study is that it seemed like she didn't even hear her baby's cries, which is really interesting. And that they were so appalled by the fact, how can she not hear her baby's cries?
Mm-hmm.
And so they start to learn about Miss March, about her history. They realize that she comes from a very neglectful home, where her mother was another person who had attempted to commit suicide, had ended up in the hospital for many years, and so was very out of the picture. And then they kind of just got passed around to family members. And so they come to this realization that she probably neglects to hear her baby's cries because no one ever heard her cry. And so the first idea of treatment that they start implementing with Miss March is letting her cry, letting her voice be heard by the therapist. And they started noticing really amazing changes in the mother-daughter relationship. She was able to hold her baby close without just out of obligation, but out of actually wanting to, was able to start smiling, and you saw so many obvious changes in the baby, which was so cool. So it's a very interesting study. But the idea is that because of Miss March's past traumas, she brought that into her relationship with her baby, and that is where you saw these abnormal effects on the baby for her age.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
So.
I think it's so interesting. The idea that one, that they even had the insight to notice that that there was maybe a reason why she wasn't hearing, because I think there's so often a lot of judgment that comes whenever we see parents not responding in ways that we might feel like they should.
Or feel obvious.
Yeah.
Obviously, you would pick up your baby if it's crying.
Yes. And so what we might think about that parent would be like,
they're a bad parent.
You're a bad parent. Yeah. Right. Simple.
But instead, they recognize that maybe she's not a bad parent, but maybe she, for one, doesn't know how to parent because she was never herself parented.
Right. She's lacking some sort of capacity, or there's something getting in the way of her ability to. And so they recognize this, we cannot offer what was not what was not provided.
Yes.
For us. And so then they started this very concrete provision of the thing that they wanted to see her provide.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's we call that a parallel process that happens in relationship, where if you offer someone something, then now they are enabled to be a provider of that thing.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm curious, what were your thoughts about this, Press?
I think for me, what stood out most was just they mentioned so many times in the study that basically whatever Miss March was doing was mirrored in the face of the baby. That if she looked sad or unhappy, that baby also looked sad and unhappy. And so I think it's really just a testament to how much, or just the extremely intimate relationship of a parent and a child, and that there are things that just surpass anything else. There's a different kind of relationship in comparison to any other relationship, where you can literally feel what your child or your parent is feeling, in a way that is just transcends any other relationship,
Right.
I would say.
Yeah.
Or at least an earthly relationship,
Right.
a physical relationship. So
Yeah.
I would say, it really just reveals the importance of recognizing that this is a really special relationship.
Yeah.
That was probably what stood out to most to me in this
Yeah.
study.
Yeah. And I mean, even people who've cared for children from early ages, but being like a primary caregiver, even if you haven't given birth to them. So like foster adoptive parents, if you're the primary caregiver of that child, you bring your parenting experience into that relationship too.
Right.
And you are visited by these ghosts in your own parenting. And so what is seen in the article and what in the relationship that they're describing, what we see is a response of who is there in the observation, right? They saw with their own eyes the mother and her expression and the baby and their response to the mother. What is unseen is the ghost of the mother's mother.
Yes.
And that parenting experience. So it's not just the person of the mother's mother, it is the experience of unresolved, unmet needs of the mother who is there in that moment by the mother who is there in her as like a psychological presence with her. So there are the people and the situation experiences who are present with us, who are not actually physically in the space, but are very present with us and then are being kind of transmitted through the parent-child relationship. And those are who we call the ghosts that come into our parenting.
Yeah. And everyone has them.
And everyone has them.
And everyone has them.
Yeah.
There's no exception to the rule, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because we are all influenced by what was done to us and therefore what we do to others.
Yeah.
And so.
And there's no perfect, I mean, we've talked about this before, but there's no perfect relationship outside of our relationship with God.
Yeah.
And, the only other relationships that we have, or the only relationship we have that is as intimate or even more intimate than that parent-child relationship is God, our Heavenly Father.
Yeah.
And, he is perfect and he has no ghosts. So there's nothing that's being mediated through that relationship that could harm us or that could not be fully there meeting our needs. But we exist still in this world where we have been parented by earthly parents and caregivers, and so we carry these unresolved emotional experiences or needs that haven't been met in sometimes very significant ways, and then sometimes in maybe not as significant ways, but are still maybe have not been addressed or looked at. Yeah.
And so the other side of this is an article that came out in 2005, where it is an additional article talking based off the information from the article published in the 70s, where it's called Angels in the Nursery, which is the same kind of idea, except for that you are also influenced by the really good things that happened in your childhood, and the positive experiences as well. So maybe you can speak to that a bit.
Yeah, like those. So we hold these kind of two things at the same time,
We just got back.
Yeah.
From a conference.
We did.
We went to a professional conference.
Preston and I went to a professional conference together.
Yay.
Yeah. We were spreading the word about our podcast. People knew
oh my
about
gosh,
it.
yes.
Yeah.
We had, what was her name?
Susan. Hi, Susan.
Susan,
you're listening.
Susan came up to us and was talking about
thanks for spreading the word.
Yeah, she was telling everyone about our podcast. I just thought that was so sweet.
Yeah.
She also wants you to publish a book.
Yeah.
She said she's going to be your marketing person.
Yeah. She wants to sell merch.
I know.
I don't know what that merch would be.
I don't know what that would be.
It would be like
And it's like
it would be
so
like
far down
the
the line.
set
I have
of
no
our at
idea.
our house. I don't know.
It'd be the set of our house. It'd be a little like model of our house. A little model of us. We got little dolls. Like, I don't know what that could
I don't
possibly
know.
be.
We're really digressing.
Anyways, so at this conference, we talked about being able to hold two things at once.
Yeah. Two things that can be true at the same time that seem like in opposition to each other. And
we are very complex creatures.
we are. Yeah, we really are.
Have one thing that's true about us,
yeah.
but also
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think of like an example
we
that
talk
could
about
make
this
it.
all the time, flesh and spirit. You know,
Yes.
we have
the two things.
an opposition battling each other out, like good and evil. We have that are existing in the world at the same time. We have, the redemptive work of the cross, and then still we have, the work of Satan in the world, and that
Those
we
things,
that
two
we
things
fight.
are constantly
Yeah,
fighting.
absolutely. And we know who has already won
Yeah.
the victory over that, but we're still in the world, and we have these opposing forces kind of always. And so even in our parenting, we see this showing up. In our kids, we see this showing up, that we have our kids are not all good or all bad. They don't make 100% great choices or 100% poor choices. And this can be a hard thing to hold in parenting. And it can be hard to hold for ourselves, that we don't always make the right calls, that we don't always get it right, that we sometimes make bad choices, that sometimes we make mistakes, that, we get it wrong, and we need to apologize or make repair with our kids. And so we see this in the angels and the ghosts as well. And so we have, we hold these in our own parenting experiences, or in our experiences of being parented. We have, for some of you who may be listening, you may have unresolved relationships with your own parents, and you may have decided that, one or both of your parents haven't been safe enough with you, or it's not safe to continue to be in a close relationship with them. And you may have decided that they are, not going to be an active part of your life. And there may be reasons for that, but you may also have villainized them in ways that, are cutting off your access to even the good things that they were able to provide for you, that you could be, kind of tapping into to provide for your own children. Mm-hmm. And so we want to access both those ghosts and those angels. And we want to access the ghosts, or know and have awareness to those, so that when they come up, we can make a decision about how we respond to those, that we're not immediately acting and reacting on those and transmitting and doing what was done for us, like what was in the article, that we're not, ignoring, the baby when they cry. Our cat.
Simon.
We're going to have to get him down.
No, he's fine.
He's in the shot. He's going to step on the thing. We're going to have to get him down. Let's do that real quick.
Okay.
We'll come back.
Well, while you were talking, I was kind of thinking about, I guess, like viewing people in like good or bad, like you were talking about. It made me think of Lilo and Stitch.
Okay. Proceed.
So whenever Lilo makes this like drawing of Stitch, about and his good meter, his bad meter, like his badness and goodness.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's kind of true of like how we view people sometimes, is that you're good or bad.
Yeah.
And I think that is a relational truth that, I feel like I struggle with every day, in being like, I know that's a bad person, and so I'm going to stay away from them, or I know this is a good person. And those aren't like, sometimes that's discernment.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of the times we think that about people, or even in like relationships where you're really close, you know certain things not to say or to do because that you're going to set that person off, right?
Yeah.
Or because that's their bad side and you don't want to touch their bad side. You just want to stay on their good side. And so a lot of the times we bring that into relationships, and I think that is, and it's something that is easier said than done. But to try to consider that they are not just on a good and bad meter, but they are someone who has the same truth, that they can be holding two things true at the same time, right? That they could be both, you know, great in one area and bad in one other area, but also within those two things, there's constantly the battle of flesh and spirit, right?
Yeah.
And so that was something I thought of while you were talking,
Right.
that I think we can often do.
Because if you polarize people like that, then you will soon discover that there is no perfect person, and you will isolate. Or you will run through people. You will run from person to person and relationship to relationship until you have no more relationships to run through. And you know, God does call us to unity, and He calls us to do relationships like He does, and that's long suffering in relationships. And that's for relational repair. And so to reflect, you know, who He is in relationships, and in parenting, you know, if we look at people like that, then we kind of have relationships with our kids, and God's given us our kids for a purpose, and it's to weather things with them. Like He never does that to us. He never says to us, "I'm done with you." He does. He says He's faithful to complete the good work that He started in us, and so, you know, He's a God that says He never leaves us or forsakes us. And so we want to be parents, you know, who have that kind of relational love that sticks with, right? So we want to submit those ghosts to the Lord. And that's where, you know, in psychology, we would say, okay, we're gonna just reflect on this, and we're gonna, in our own strength and in our own, you know, skill sets, we're going to find a way to override this reactive way of being, you know, toward my child, and I'm going to do the better option, right? So instead of you know, ignoring them, I'm going to nurture them. And I'm going to receive nurturance from these other people, and that's going to be enacted in me. And yes, that is good, and that's true, and that's not untrue and not unhelpful. And I've seen that happen in therapies and how that's possible. But I also believe that as Christians, that we can call on the Lord in those moments, and we can say, you know, I need also your help, the presence of the Holy Spirit, and empowerment in these moments to do what I cannot do in my own strength.
As you were talking, I was kind of reminded of this scripture, which is found in Isaiah 41, starting in verse 8, and it says, "But you, Israel, my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the offspring of Abraham, my friend, you whom I took from the ends of the earth and called from its furthest corners, saying to you, you are my servant. I have chosen you and not cast you off. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, and I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." In some other versions it says, "I've chosen you and I will not throw you away," which I think is kind of what we were talking about. And oftentimes we can as humans throw people away based on if they're good or bad, or what we think of them, or our perception, or also even throw ourselves away. Based on our own perception of of what we're doing, if we consider it good or bad. So that kind of reminded me. But the good news is that God's character doesn't do that.
Yeah.
When he chooses us and he doesn't throw us away.
Yeah.
But he holds us close and upholds us with his right hand. And so,
Yeah. So yeah, I think in that it's like we can look at what are the parts of us that aren't healed or completely, that are being redeemed or not completely redeemed yet, or that are not fully sanctified in this life
or submitted,
right? And we can submit them. We can choose to submit them to the Lord versus ignoring them simply because they're not, where we want them to be, or because we don't know how to change them, right? Because we don't have to change them in our own strength. We can say, I don't know how to do this. We can get help.
Yeah.
We can ask
and
for
the Lord
help.
says that our weaknesses are actually his strengths.
Right. He's made strong in our weakness.
He is made strong in our weakness. And so we can consider our weaknesses like a fault.
Or
and
failure.
Kind of consider that a part of our identity is like, well, I'm just bad at that. Or and then I think what you're saying is so true too, that we just kind of push it aside and ignore it. Like,
don't address it. Don't give it to the Lord. Don't get help for it. Don't talk about it
just
to
try
anyone.
to forget that it was there in the first place.
Yeah.
That it ever happened.
Then we move past it. Yeah. If we, are angry or harsh toward our kids, or we're dismissive of them or their feelings, or we're not available in the ways that we should be or they need us to be. We don't do for them what they're needing. And maybe we feel like a failure in those moments, but it's so uncomfortable to feel like that we don't revisit it and notice, what's going on, or maybe aren't open to other people's feedback around those things, or don't even have the kind of community that could say, hey, what's going on there? Don't have the kind of relationships.
Part of the process of being sanctified, like we're talking about, is embracing the uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's what Jesus did. Like, he put himself in uncomfortable places because that's where he knew the Lord had called him, where his Father had called him.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you think about him before going on the cross, he's pleading that this cup would be taken from him.
Right.
Wanting something different, wanting to live.
Yeah, like his fleshly side, or his not flesh. I shouldn't say that. Like in this earthly human form.
Yeah.
So I guess flesh, but not in the way
not
we
in the
think
way
about
that we
flesh,
would have flesh.
Yes, but in his earthly human form, in the way that he experienced, pain and suffering the way that humans do, just by being human. Yeah. He didn't want to have to endure the pain of the cross, and
but in that uncomfortable place, he was like formed even to be holy, and then be the savior of all of us,
right?
And so we, in following Jesus' example, must embrace the uncomfortable in order to fully grow, because like living with the Lord is so good, but it's actually some of the hardest things you'll ever do is living with him and addressing those ghosts and angels that are affecting every part of our life, especially with I don't have any children, but with children, the parent-child relationship. So we've kind of talked through the psychological aspect of this idea of angels and ghosts and how to follow Jesus in this. So maybe we could kind of walk through some practicals.
Yeah. So practically speaking, I think it can be very helpful to identify what are those sort of ghosts moments for you as a parent. They are, they might be the moments whenever it feels like you sort of check out with your children. It might be in like what was kind of in the article, or whenever you notice that you sort of, lose control in the moment, whenever you start doing the things that you're, that maybe you feel out of character, not really the things that you want to do, or even the things that are just overtly like, this is something that really reminds me of my own childhood.
Yeah. If you have like a flashback to a certain moment.
Yeah, and I
maybe.
kind of can remember in this moment what this might have felt like whenever I was a child, but it's like very overwhelming. And so these are like sort of these unresolved emotional experiences that we had with our caregivers. And so, noticing those things, and instead of just bypassing those and trying to maybe suppress them further, or, ignore them, or act out of them, to sort of pause, reflect on that, and talk about them to someone, whether that's in a counseling setting, whether that's with your spouse, a trusted friend, a pastor, someone that you can talk about, hey, when this happens for me, this is really hard, this is painful, and I need someone to hear what my experience was, and I need maybe some guidance on how I can do something different in this moment, and get some tools for how to respond differently. And a big piece of this is just like in the story with in Ghosts in the Nursery, was that the mom in the story wasn't able to really attune to her child's needs. And so if you can ask yourself, what does my child need now? What does my child need in this moment? And really help yourself to stay in the moment with your child and attune to their needs, versus getting really sucked into the moment of that kind of historical ghost for you. That can be really, really helpful. So just practically speaking, first step would be identifying that. Second step would be talking to someone. Third step would be, getting a tool on how to move forward with it.
That's good.
Then I would say the next thing would be to, as far as angels go, on the flip side of that, like what are some, sort of core memories for you that are helpful, and that you are like, this is what I would want my child to feel and know about how, like, what love and care and nurturance is like. And whether that was with, a parent, a grandparent, a close family friend, some kind of caregiver who was there for you in ways that made you feel really known, seen, understood, and loved. And how can you infuse that into your relationship with them? So I would say, like, from a practical standpoint, those are some really good steps to take to really sort of address what these ideas, these concepts are in your parenting relationship with your children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you saying that too made me think, like an example from my life would be like, I remember feeling really loved whenever we would get to sing together. And also whenever you would just kind of spontaneously like bring home stuff for me. I just remember being like really excited when that would happen. And like that's kind of just a really small example, but like same kind of thing. Like when I have children, like I would hope they feel as loved in those moments as I felt loved by you in those moments. And so just for our listeners to kind of get an idea of maybe what those could look like. Doesn't have to be like a really big thing, although it can be. But it's also a lot of the times really the small things that can be angel moments and ghost moments. So so think about those. We're going to link the article down in our show notes. So make sure to look at those. They're really interesting articles, a really engaging read as well. I found myself interested by it.
Getting in some insight
It's
into this
spooky.
concept. Spooky.
Spooky.
Our Halloween episode.
Our Halloween episode.
Not so much, really.
So funny.
But just happened to be,
Happened to correlate. Yeah.
correlate. Yeah.
All right.
But anyway,
Yeah, I had fun talking about this.
Yeah.
It's good. Good times.
Good stuff. All right.
So yeah, thank you guys for joining us.
Yes.
And we'll see ya on the next episode.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.